A perspective emphasizing the importance of tradition, while also questioning whether long-standing practices remain effective in the modern era, reflects an ongoing discussion about the future direction of the British monarchy. There is increasing focus on whether traditional approaches continue to serve their intended purpose and whether they deliver the greatest possible impact. Recent reports suggest that significant internal shifts may be taking place within the royal institution. According to various sources, the heir to the throne is becoming more direct in expressing his views, particularly on matters concerning the functioning and priorities of the monarchy. These developments are described as part of a broader reassessment of roles, responsibilities, and internal dynamics. One event frequently referenced as a turning point is a state banquet held on March 18, 2026, during a high-profile diplomatic visit to the United Kingdom. This occasion marked the first state visit from that country in several decades and was conducted with full ceremonial formality at Windsor Castle. As with all such events, it attracted significant global attention. According to reports from individuals familiar with the situation, concerns were raised about the demanding nature of the schedule for the monarch, who had shown visible signs of fatigue in the weeks leading up to the event. The itinerary spanned multiple days and required sustained public engagement. It is suggested that the heir to the throne believed a reduced schedule would have been more appropriate, prioritizing rest and well-being. However, the decision was made for both the monarch and consort to attend the full program, partly due to the importance of the visit and the level of public scrutiny surrounding the family. Following the banquet, public discussion reportedly focused on the monarch's appearance and perceived fatigue, which reinforced earlier concerns. This situation appears to have intensified internal discussions about workload, health, and the balance between duty and personal well-being. Sources indicate that responsibility for the decision was not attributed to event planners or officials, but was instead viewed through the lens of differing perspectives within the family. This contributed to a noticeable increase in tension, particularly regarding how best to manage the monarch's responsibilities. At the center of this situation is a difference in approach. One perspective emphasizes the importance of maintaining a visible and active role, viewing public engagement as essential to the stability and continuity of the monarchy. Another perspective prioritizes health considerations, suggesting that reducing public duties may be necessary to ensure long-term sustainability. This divergence has reportedly led to ongoing disagreements. Attempts to modify the pace of encounters have, on occasion, failed to produce the desired results, which has contributed to feelings of frustration. A number of observers have described this matter as a delicate and complicated matter, one that involves both individual concern and the obligation of the institution. The situation is further complicated by the monarch's health condition, which adds urgency to decisions about workload and public appearances. Maintaining a healthy equilibrium between these elements is a difficult task because every decision has repercussions, not only for the individual, but also for the organization. Previous experiences appear to have an impact on the viewpoints that are currently held. There is a heightened awareness of the implications of overexertion and the significance of prioritizing well-being as a result of having previously witnessed the impact that a personal loss has within the family. Within the framework of this discussion, divergent points of view are not only matters of personal taste, rather, they are indicative of more profound concerns regarding accountability, legacy, and the future of the monarchy. Rather than being viewed as a result of personal conflict alone, disagreements may therefore be interpreted as being a part of a larger effort to negotiate these complicated difficulties. Additionally, talks that have been portrayed as hard views or ultimatums have been revealed in reports in relation to particular actions and affiliations that are part of the royal hierarchy. The accounts that have been provided indicate that there has been a shift toward more distinct boundaries and expectations, particularly in relation to responsibilities and involvement within the organization. Such developments are indicative of a changing approach to leadership, in which long-standing traditions are being re-evaluated in light of contemporary expectations, practical considerations, and the requirement for sustainable governance within the monarchy. He advised her to totally sever all relations with Sarah Ferguson, or else she would be subject to his significant displeasure. According to a source, William is of the opinion that it is essential to maintain a barrier between the royal family and Ferguson in order to safeguard their reputation. Due to the continued legal issues that Prince Andrew is facing, an ultimatum has been issued. Despite the fact that Sarah Ferguson's name was included in recent records from the United States Department of Justice, sources claim that she did not do any wrongdoing. In spite of this, William believes that the royal family is struggling with a precarious scenario in which personal feelings must take a back seat. On the other hand, Camilla did not comply with William's desire by any means. Before she married Charles, she had a long-standing acquaintance with Fergie. This friendship stretches back to before she got married. This bond has endured a number of crises involving the royal family, and Camilla is not eager to hand it off without a fight. The removal of Andrew and Sarah's formal titles and the eviction of them from their residence are two of the efforts that King Charles has already taken to reduce the distance between the royal family and Andrew and Sarah. When William instructs Camilla on how to handle her friendships, there are others who fear he may be going beyond the scope of his responsibilities. But despite the fact that he is not yet the king, he behaves as if he is in command, issuing orders and insisting that the royal family come together as one. It would appear that William is increasingly controlling the destiny of the crown, despite the fact that Charles continues to wear it on his head. Ghosts of Diana, the wounds that never healed. The presence of Princess Diana has a significant impact on the relationship between William and Camilla, and this impact of Princess Diana continues to have an effect on them. It has been reported that William was harmed as a result of Camilla's affair with his father, which ultimately led to the divorce of his parents. Christopher Anderson, a specialist on royal affairs, is of the opinion that William tolerates Camilla and that she has been a little more terrified of him. It was revealed by Prince Harry in his memoir, Spare, that he and his brother William had requested that their father not marry Camilla, but Charles went ahead with the marriage nonetheless. Both of the brothers considered Camilla to be a villainous stepmother and a cruel person. They succeeded in preserving a fragile peace for a considerable amount of time. William was able to find methods to manage, and the two of them built a relationship that was stable and occasionally warm. A feeling of ease and affection was observed between them, according to those who were privy to the situation. A recent catastrophe, on the other hand, has shattered this fragile peace and rekindled ancient wounds within the community. According to the sources, the fight has rekindled feelings from the past that had not been handled. It was claimed by an insider that William has the impression that he is unable to forgive her for the predicament that he sees. An argument that was initially about duty has evolved into a conflict that is more important to him on a personal level. When William sees Camilla supporting Charles through a tough public schedule despite his illness, he does not view her as a supportive wife. Instead, he thinks about the lady who caused a disturbance in his family and who now appears to be involved in making decisions regarding his father's health that William considers to be outside of her authority. Once upon a time, Diana stated that her marriage consisted of 3 individuals. William was influenced by that circumstance at a young age. Now that his father's health is deteriorating, all of the old feelings of grief and hatred are coming back to the surface. In light of the fact that William's profound unresolved sorrow is becoming more apparent, the public image of the royal family is beginning to break down, which has the potential to alter the destiny of the British monarchy. There was a literary bomb that was dropped at the most inopportune time, and that was the Tom Bower book. Betrayal, Power, Deceit, and the Fight for the Future of the Royal Family was the title of the book that was published by Tom Bower, an investigative royal biographer, on March 26, 2026. When the publication of this book took place, tensions were at an all-time high inside the royal family. The assertion that Camilla claimed Meghan Markle had indoctrinated Prince Harry was one of the primary assertions made by the document. William, who has been attempting to keep the royal family distinct from the drama involving Harry and Meghan, has been facing a public relations challenge as a result of this accusation. In particular, the timing of the book's release was detrimental to the situation. The separation of the working royals from the disarray that was caused by the departure of William's brother and sister-in-law has been a source of frustration for William for many years. A statement attributed to Camilla, whether true or not, brought Meghan back into the spotlight, which was not what William needed while dealing with personal issues over their father's health and conflicts with the York family. A book that has been discussed recently has shed light on the internal dynamics that exist within the monarchy. The publication focuses on topics such as the loyalty that exists among members of the family and the shifting balance of influence that occurs as the current reign continues. In an atmosphere that has already been regarded as uncomfortable, these conversations appear to have heightened the worries that were previously there and brought more attention to the problems that lie beneath the surface. The mood inside Windsor Castle is said to have become more tense near the end of March 2026, according to those who observed it. During this time, there has been a resurgence of interest in a fundamental question: what kinds of shifts might take place in the future when the heir to the throne is elevated to the position of monarch? The research of the royal structure indicates that the future king will have complete authority to make decisions that will have an impact on both the public and private elements of top people within the royal administration. As part of this process, roles, responsibilities, and levels of involvement will be evaluated. This kind of review is not seen to be an inconceivable prospect. Rather, it is regarded as a process that might already be being contemplated as a component of long-term planning. What might appear to be a conflict between two individuals on the surface is, in fact, more complicated, according to the experts. Of contrast to a straightforward family issue, this occurrence is indicative of a more widespread shift of authority. This progressive change is defined as being remarkable in its visibility, unfolding in a manner that enables onlookers to experience the evolution of leadership in real time, without the need for them to be present. Additionally, the problem is significant from a constitutional standpoint. The monarch's job include not just concerns pertaining to the family, but also their diplomatic responsibilities and their representation on the international stage. One example of this would be the strategic alliances that the United Kingdom has formed with other countries, which have increased the significance of having a continuous and effective presence in international affairs. It is for this reason that decisions about workload and involvement in official responsibilities have ramifications that extend beyond the level of the individual. There have been a variety of opinions that have surfaced within this setting. According to one point of view, the monarchy's ability to sustain its active engagement is critical to its stability and its role in the international community. Concern for the health and well-being of the monarch is reflected in another approach, which places an emphasis on long-term sustainability and considers health concerns. All of these variations contribute to a more comprehensive conversation about leadership styles and the path that the future will take. Recent measures taken by the successor have been interpreted by some observers as an evidence of proactive leadership, which suggests that preparation for future responsibilities is already in progress. According to the observations of some individuals, such assertiveness may be interpreted as the assumption of authority prior to its official transfer. This approach appears to have been influenced by recent occurrence involving illness within the royal family, as well as by prior high-profile changes that affected other members of the family. The difficulties that the organization is currently facing are brought to light by these experiences, which may be a contributing factor to the desire for increased control and stability in the future. When looking into the future, it is anticipated that the eventual transfer to a new reign will bring about substantial changes. Despite the fact that she would most certainly continue to take part in certain ceremonial engagements, analysts believe that the current queen consort's function would be reevaluated in the event that a new monarch were to take power. As far as titles are concerned, the royal customs that are currently in place suggest that she will keep her status, in a manner that is analogous to how previous persons who held equivalent posts kept their titles for life. There is a possibility that her level of public activity and involvement in royal activities may be susceptible to modification in accordance with the aims of the incoming reign. If such a review were to take place, it would most likely encompass not only the individual, but also associated networks, such as members of the extended family and close associates who have been tied to royal life. The significance of these relationships can be judged in terms of their influence, importance, and congruence with the monarchy's intended course of action in the future. Additionally, other members of the extended royal family are aware that changes may have an impact on their own responsibilities and positions in the royal family. According to reports, there are certain individuals who are keeping a close eye on developments and contemplating the several ways in which proposed reforms can influence their engagement in the future. In general, the path that is being sketched indicates that the monarchy will become more organized and efficient. It would appear that the focus is on reducing complexity reducing the amount of ambiguity surrounding jobs and taking a more controlled approach to representation and responsibility inside the organization. In the inner circle, he desires to have fewer people, and he does not want any associations that could be detrimental to the royal image. Divided loyalties are something he will not tolerate. This is strikingly comparable to what Charles envisioned, which was a more streamlined and unobtrusive monarchy. William, on the other hand, appears to be adopting this concept in a more rapid and extensive manner. Whether or not William will bring about a change in the monarchy when he becomes king is not the topic at hand. He is going to. The real concern is whether those who are opposed to him, particularly Camilla, would accept these changes with grace, or whether the conflicts that are taking place beyond the entrances of the palace will finally become public knowledge. A single thing is abundantly clear. The monarchy of the United Kingdom will never again be the same. Although the crown has not yet been placed on William's head, he is already beginning to assume control. He is a son who is guarding his father, and he is a future king who is planning his palace lines. A battle within the palace has the potential to change the British monarchy for many years to come. Please give this article a like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to hit the notification bell if you found it interesting. This saga is not yet finished. There will be new developments in the near future, and we will keep you updated on them.